Alright guys, welcome back to today's video. So we've got a few things to talk about on today's ride. Today I'll be following up on the suspension settings. I changed the preload and the tension settings on the rear suspension. Today I'm riding the 2024 KLR 650. And then on the way here, I have found something else that I may need help from the community on troubleshooting. So let's get into it. So thus far, to get to this starting area, this is my testing grounds. It's about 6 miles of dirt road, rutted roads, washboards. And I will tell you, the suspension settings, they like transformed the ride. I was expecting something, was not expecting the results that I'm getting. I switched over to the Waypoint Adventure tires, and in previous videos there's the other thing we're going to be talking about. In previous videos I talked about the road performance, dirt performance, somewhat off-road performance, and through feedback from the community, from you guys, changing tire pressure. So like today, I think I'm running 25 roughly in the rear and 22 in the front. So I got an idea of the impact of that with the factory suspension settings, which was pretty much at the softest settings. But I went from the preload of 1 up to 3. And then I'm trying to think on the tension setting. I go back and refer to that video. That was the video I dropped last week. Sorry, I'm negotiating terrain here. Holy shit. Sorry about that. Kind of washed out, man, from this season's. So there, you guys pay attention to that sound you hear there. So the ride performance after the suspension changing is notable. I mean, it's I'll say this probably again for something else, but it's definitely transformed the ride. I feel very planted, very comfortable. I don't know if you guys can tell, this is all very rutted terrain. We've had rain up in here for, I don't know, probably 7 days in a row. And like I said in other videos, that kind of changes the experience, but it's still pretty dry. Like, it's not, you don't see mud holes or anything, but it definitely kind of changes up things, get some moisture in the area, because you're not just riding on silt. So before I get to the new thing that you may hear again as I throttle up, which I'm not sure what that is, let's focus on the suspension. So Waypoint Adventure tires, I've got 350 miles of wear on the tires. They still feel good on asphalt. I mean, they feel very planted. And I can tell you right now, riding through this area, they feel really good, in off-road. So as I had said before, I think you need some wear on new tires, especially this harder compound. I don't know, I don't want to speak too fast, but they feel similar to what the stock tires felt off the floor, which it says a lot, because that was a softer compound. And I want to try to stay seated as much as I can for this portion of the ride, because I really want to test that suspension. It's made a huge difference, and I had a couple viewers refer to their settings, and they have a similar weight that I am as a rider. Wow, it just definitely, it makes a huge difference, guys. Wow. So I'm seated the whole way, and it's rutted out. Hopefully you guys can see that in the video. It's definitely rutted out. So the things I am learning as I get more and more into adventure riding: suspension matters, tires matter, air pressure matters. I mean, it's, wow, this is just awesome. This is awesome. I feel like I'm hooking up just fine. There again, I think I attribute that to tire pressure and wear on the tires. And I'm kind of, you know, I'm not hitting every hole in the road because I don't want to rattle my teeth loose, but it's, I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, you can hear. That's one reason I keep talking, because, you know, there's that gremlin. You can hear it in my voice, right? Like if I'm getting rattled all to pieces, you'll hear it. Man, this is gorgeous, man. This is a beautiful day. It's amazing to me what a little tuning does. I mean, it was soft enough, you know, with the factory settings, factory tires, but, you know, there were times, I mean, I would be standing up already, and now I feel like with some suspension tuning, I don't have to. You guys see it. I mean, I'm negotiating these ruts, and so wow. And I'm sure the community, you guys know, I mean, you guys know more than I know that, yeah, this is what you do. This is what you do to tune out your ride. And you know, go back and watch that video if you didn't see the suspension tuning. It's really easy on the 2024 KLR. You just gotta kind of get down there so you can see that lower collar setting. But wow, what a gorgeous day, guys. Okay, so I'm kind of coming through here, kind of a moderate speed, because I'm trying to avoid this sound. And now I think what the title of this video is going to be, what is that sound? So I'm in a little bit higher gear here, it's like a mid-range, it's like a mid-RPM range. There's something that's resonating in the chassis, and I you know, I just noticed it this morning on the way here. I don't know what it is. Ooh, man, this is all tore up. Look at this. This is what the end of the season looks like here in the National Forest. People have been enjoying these roads and trails, and, you know, especially when we get some rain, you know, people keep coming in here, and because, you know, some people, that's what they look for. They want some mud to deal with, but it really tears up the roads. But, you know, that's for obstacles. Oh man, I'm sliding around right in there. Yeah, see, that was a spot right there. I normally would have been standing up. I just hit it sitting down, and I'm in that tank hugger position, so I feel good. And when I pause, I'm just taking note of the... There it is again, guys. You hear that? If I get just a tick above, I don't know, I think it's, you know, there's no tachometer on this thing. Oh, I did stand up there. I cheated right there. Something is resonating in the frame. And before I started recording, you know, I looked, and, you know, because I had trucked the bike a couple times. You know, I had it under compression. I had it, you know, strapped in the back of a truck. I had taken the, pardon my lack of vocabulary this morning, but the covers off, you know, but I torqued it down. I mean, I didn't feel anything loose in the side panels or anything. but I don't hear it. You know, at lower RPMs, I don't hear it. But you will hear it when I get over here. With higher RPMs, there's definitely something going on there. At one time, when I was coming, you know, I was on asphalt coming over here, and I thought, well, maybe it's the knobbies, you know, maybe that's the road noise that some people talk about with knobby tires. This little spot here I'm always careful of. When I first started riding this area, I got turned over right here, and I don't want to do that. So when I climb this hill, I'll probably, especially if I go up it first, it'll wake up that gremlin. Let's see. Nope. Oh, there it was. It's right in there. So that's first gear. So I think today's video is going to be two different things. One, feedback on the suspension settings, which I'm very pleased with. I really appreciate the feedback from the community. Look at this. That was a bit much. There's a lot of holes there. But it's still, I didn't bottom out at all. Right there. Oh, it's a little harder to, in this terrain, it's a little harder to get it to come out. I don't know why. Right there. Hopefully that's coming out on audio. And that's new. I mean, that's, today is the first day I've heard that. And the only thing I've changed is the suspension. So you guys could hear that bump right there. Hear it? I'm modulating the throttle to make it come out. See right there. So when I get back to the garage, I'll get underneath and look, but I have no idea, man. I have no idea what would now be possibly loose in there. There you hear it. So there again, I'm not standing up at all. This is really smooth out the ride. That suspension change, those changes really smooth out the ride. And I noticed it on the road too, but I mean, this is, the big thing was coming up on the gravel road, and it was all, you know, washboarded. There's been so much traffic up in here. And I could like maintain a speed, you know, I was doing like 55 and right through ruts and stuff. And it made the cornering feel better too on the gravel. I have no idea why. Wow, this is great. So I'm not really shifting around or doing anything. I'm just trying to muck around with that sound. There it is. Come on out. Right there. You guys hear that? It's just real subtle. It was doing it before I got into these areas. It was really loud. But I guess I'm riding more at a moderate pace as well in here. So, but I tell you guys, fall is in the air. Fall riding is my favorite time to ride. I don't know what it is. Don't know what it is about that fall air. Yeah, you guys hear that? Yeah, the road is really, you can tell it's really seen some traffic through here. Here's second. It may not come out in second. Yeah, so now it seems like the performance of the tires, it slides enough. Like it's definitely not like, you know, a full dirt bike tire, but it slides enough. I mean, you know, that makes it fun, in my opinion. You know, sliding down the ruts, stuff like that. Oof, I probably should have stood up there. Didn't feel like I bottomed out, but that was a rough landing. There, guys. What is that? Better pay attention to the road. Thinking so much of what's going on in the frame that. All right. Yeah, see, that's like on deceleration right there. Here comes somebody. Oop. Look like the Army's in here riding. These guys are ready, man. They got their hunter gear on. Get prepared. Good on those young men, though. I mean, it's a Wednesday. Be able to come out here and enjoy the national forest. Still seated. Still enjoying the ride. All about suspension. Oh, man. I've been busy. I hadn't had a chance to get out. I missed heck, it might have been 2 weeks. I don't know. We were traveling. Me and Mrs. High were camping, and I was going to ride when we were down there, and then we got busy with family, and so kind of getting back on a regular schedule. So this is the first video you've seen of mine. Affordable adventure is the category where we're talking about adventure riding, you know, like, oh, pay attention to what I'm doing here. Seated, didn't even stand up. I'm cheating here because it's just rocky. There's my gremlin. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out that resonation there. Not sure how much battery I got on this one. This was sitting in there. But no, as I was saying, you know, this got a couple different video types on the channel. It's, you know, this has mostly been adventure riding this season. And I promise to my Gold Wing people, I will definitely get some Gold Wing footage out there. Need to get a big boy out, and especially as the leaves start to change colors. It's a good time. Do some pass rides, you know. Get the Gold Wing up there. But I will tell you this, today is one of those days that really makes me glad I bought this KLR. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. And I am not an expert rider by any means. Look at this damn rut, guys. Holy cow. Let's see, pick a line here, buddy. Look at that. Look where the water came down. washed all that out. Yeah, it's already after Labor Day. There'll be some roads like Trail Ridge Road in Colorado, they'll be closing up. Man, this time is going by so quickly. Yeah, this is a perfect time to test the suspension. Roads are all rutted out. And, you know, I had said in the other video, like the big bike feel, and you guys who ride probably know what I'm talking about, but that suspension change is, I have less of that now. Like, you know, big boy flopping around underneath you and you're on dirt, and yeah, that's a different sensation to being on a smaller dirt bike for sure. Wow, this has just smoothed it right out. Wow. Yeah, when I cross those the ruts, man, it really tells the story. Wow. And the interesting thing is, there's my gremlin. Got to decide which way I'm going to go up here. I don't know if I'm going to go down the dirt road. I might just go ahead and head on down the thing here. My GoPro will tell me when my battery's done. Did you hear that? Yeah, I don't know what it is about. There it is. Hear that? Right there. What is that? Guess I'll scoot on down here a little bit. Oh, on another note, I had an opportunity to get on the brakes again on the way over here, and as far as the road manners of these tires, the Waypoint Adventure by Tusk, man, there's a few times I broke loose on the stock tires because they're softer, you know, and plus there's no ABS or anything. But you know, the brakes and not breaking loose from the asphalt is what I'm trying to say. Did really well today. Man, look at this. This thing's all washed out, which is good. It's a good time to test suspension. It's extra sandy in there too. So I've been seated this whole way. I'm just on my tank hugger. And wow, it's doing great. I just got to figure out what that damn sound is, because that's weird. I guess whatever it is, when it falls off, I'll know. Sounds like it's in the front end. So right there, there's some pretty good little gravel, you know, some rocks, more than gravel, it was rocky. Okay, right in here. Oh shit, I had to stand up on that one. That's kind of like hitting a wall. Pardon my colorful language, I don't mean to do that. Wow, man. I am just impressed. Because I ride through here enough that, like, I'm used to seeing obstacles. I'm like, oh, brace yourself. You know? Brace yourself. So, and for anyone that might be watching, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, so I made adjustments on the suspension of this bike. So basically, there's a spring that sits on top of the shock, and preload is when you compress that spring, and so it makes the spring stiffer. So as I said in the other video, when you compress the spring, it makes it harder to continue to compress the spring. So when there's no preload, when it's soft or completely, let's say completely sprung, it ain't completely sprung because it's installed in the bike, but you know, you get a running go at it, you can bottom out. That guy here, I think this might be hunters out here. Got some hunter activity as we get into the fall. And that's why I have my high-vis jacket on. I don't want them to mistake me for an elk on a motorcycle. That'd be strange to have an elk on a motorcycle. You never know. But anyway, so it makes the spring stiffer. So when you do hit, you know, obstacles, it just doesn't, it's less likely to bottom out. If that makes sense. But at the same time, it's like, well, is it going to make the ride like really rough? That's what I was concerned about. No, it hasn't. It has not. Ooh, look at this. Well, them people been in here. Some folks were having fun when the rain was down, because you can tell the road's all washed out. Some of that too might just be how it drains. There's the gremlin. What is that, guys? Yeah, you can see like there's like a little bitty mud hole right there, and for us that's something because there's not enough water to make a mud hole. Wow, this thing feels good. It's weird how it makes the front end feel good. I mean, like the whole thing is just balanced. It's weird. You know, because this thing doesn't have any settings. This thing doesn't have any settings on the front end, on the forks. But that rear adjustment has made the whole bike, just the whole thing. This feels good. And that makes me think, makes me think I should pay attention to what I'm doing. I don't know. I'm just thinking in my head that, you know, when you're riding and say your suspension is set up a certain way for your weight, and that rear swing arm, right, is like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And how that swing arm reacts to ruts and holes is different, you know. Oh, right there, what is that? What are you doing? Go ahead and fall off. Whatever that is, just fall off. Hopefully my bike will still operate, whatever that is, when it falls off. But just how that, you know, that gyration of the swing arm and the rear end, and how that translates into what the front end's going to do to respond to the rear end. Just to make such a dramatic difference. Now it's going to be funny if you guys can see something in the video and say like, oh, it's right there, whatever that sound is. Oop. Sometimes I cannot walk and chew bubble gum. Wow, this has just really improved the ride. You guys count how many times I say that. Man, it really improved the ride. And to finish my thought from before, if the bike is more planted, then maybe, yeah, I'm just trying to get back to that, it rode so rough. Like when I first put these tires on, I'm like, dang, it's a rough ride, you know? And it was out here. Like, I didn't like it. I'm like, gonna get rid of these tires. But just because this is my preferred mode of riding right here. But now, wow, guys. And I wonder how many people who are on these bikes today that don't even look at the suspension at all. You know, they just get on and ride it. You know, I mean, I've done that. I've had several motorcycles. You just get on and ride it, especially road riding. But to take time to get that suspension better tuned. And I've never known, I don't know, I guess I don't know enough about it to, I mean, I've heard people say, like, oh, suspension's important, man. You get that suspension. Like on my 450, I've never even adjusted that suspension. Maybe I will now. And that big bike characteristic where it feels like you're kind of flopping through the woods, that's a suspension. Because right now, this thing feels good. Even with the Gremlin. Wow. So you see somebody that's riding differently, than maybe a higher performance. Maybe this got their suspension set up right.